Hi 6K, I hope your questions went well. We are now going to talk about the answers to each of these. So for number 1, it asked, explain how you could use transformations to make each design. For A, you can use translating, reflecting, or rotating. It's totally up to you. For translating, I would just shift the square by 2 in any direction I needed. So for example, if I started with this square and I was going to translate it up, I would go 1, 2. 1, 2, then to the right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I can translate the shape all the way around. I can also reflect it. Again, say I started with this square here, I could reflect it over this center line to get there, and then over this line to get here, then over this line to get here, and so on. Just keep reflecting it over its own line to make the design that is here. You can also rotate it. Now the reason why you are able to rotate for this design is because this is a square. It is a shape that has the same length of side all the way around. So let's say I'm going to rotate. This center point between these 4 squares is where I'm going to rotate. So say I start with this guy, I can rotate it here, and then up here, and then over here. Now, I'd have to change the point of rotation once I get up here to this center square, and then I can rotate it here and here. Okay, rotating is usually the hardest of the 3 transformations, so you don't have to use it when it doesn't say you have to, but just to let you know, you can use all transformations on this shape. B is a little bit different. Now, I can still translate. Say I started again in this bottom left, I could go up by 3, 1, 2, 3, over by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down by 3, 1, 2, 3. That would create my pattern. I can also reflect. So again, let's start with this rectangle. I can reflect over this line here to get there, then reflect over this line to get here, and then reflect over this line to get here. The reason I cannot rotate this shape is because this rectangle is 4 length and 3 width. If I rotate this shape on this center part, what's going to happen is this short part is now going to be up here. It's not going to be here. So we cannot rotate for this shape. For C, we can rotate. This is an equilateral triangle. That means that all of these triangles have the exact same side lengths. So this green triangle here, if I started with this guy, this point that's connecting these 2 triangles, I could rotate my triangle on that point to bring him up here. Rotate it again down, rotate it again up on these points that are connecting. So rotating is a way I can make this design. I could also reflect. Now, this would cause, or sorry, not cause, it would need 2 reflections each time you move the triangle. So starting with this one, I would have to reflect on the bottom to get my triangle here, and then I would reflect on this line here to get my triangle over there. Then the same thing, this triangle, reflect on its bottom line to get it down, reflect on this line here to move it over, and so forth. So rotating would work, reflecting would work. Translating would not work. The reason why is because I need my shape to switch from pointing down to pointing up. And even if I move my shape up by 2 and over by 2, it's still going to be pointing down. So we need reflection or rotation in order to make this design. Okay. Number 2, this is where you got to draw your own shape, transform copies of the shape into a design, and then describe your transformations. This will have so many different possible answers, so I'm not going to go over this one. Now, number 5, part A. What were the original shapes? We have a triangle, an isosceles triangle to be exact, and a quadrilateral, okay, a regular one. So it has all the same sides. It is a square. Part B says describe the transformations that could have been used to create the logo. Okay, so there's a couple different options here. For the square, it could have been translated by 2, so 1, 2, 1, 2. This one would be a bit more, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can translate the square. For the square, we could also reflect it. So I could start here and go reflect, 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 reflect up, 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 reflect, reflect. Or I could rotate. Now, this square, if I rotated it on one of the points that are touching the other square, I could rotate it over. This corner, I could rotate it up. Rotate, rotate. So any transformations would work for the squares. Now the triangles, these are a little bit different. The triangles we cannot translate because they are facing different ways. You can see the long side of the isosceles triangle is pointing opposite directions to all four corners, so we cannot translate. We can, however, reflect. So I would go in the middle line between these two triangles to reflect over. Same thing here, middle line, reflect over, middle line, reflect over, okay? Rotating would also work. You just need to find the point that's right in the middle of these triangles, and that would be your point of rotation to rotate it all the way around, okay? Now, is there another set of transformations? Yes, I just described them all. So for our squares, we could use translating, reflecting, or rotating. For the triangles, only rotating and reflecting because the triangles end up facing different ways. Okay, I hope that these questions made some sense. Again, if they did not, please make sure to make a note of it to yourself so that you remember to ask me about it during our next Google Hangout. You can also always send me emails. Some of you have already been doing that, which is fantastic. Okay, if you have questions, please let me know, kiddos. I am here for you. I hope this is going well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.